What is going on, guys? It's Jordan, and in this video I'll be taking a look back at the top 10 picks from the 2015 NFL Draft and grading each pick based on how the player turned out for the team that drafted him. I encourage you guys to leave comments in response to these grades. We'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts on what you would change and what you liked. Look for more videos in the near future grading other drafts. Let's get right into it. When you draft a quarterback anywhere in the top 5 overall, you make that pick hoping that this can be your franchise guy for the next 10 to 15 years, especially if you grab that guy with the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to give the Buccaneers drafting Jameis Winston a C grade. During Winston's 5-year tenure in Tampa Bay, he threw for a little under 20,000 passing yards, 121 passing touchdowns, and 88 interceptions. He had a career record of 28 and 42. He put up solid numbers for most of his time there, but never quite elevated his team into the playoffs and consistently struggled with protecting the football, especially in 2019. Winston managed to throw for 5,100 passing yards and 33 touchdowns, but also threw 30 interceptions. The Buccaneers wouldn't bring him back and would end up signing Tom Brady in free agency to replace him. The hype around Marcus Mariota back in 2015 was palpable. He was viewed as a can't-miss prospect by many, but he was just never able to quite capture that magic after the Titans drafted him. He had a 29 and 32 record as a Titans starter and only had one season with over 20 passing touchdowns. He would eventually be replaced by Ryan Tannehill, who was intended to be his backup. My final grade for this pick is a D. Dante Fowler was expected by many within the Jaguars organization to be a future superstar on the defensive line for them. Unfortunately for them, Fowler was never able to live up to the massive expectations, only notching 14 sacks for the team in 3 seasons. Fowler would eventually be traded to the Rams in exchange for a 3rd and 5th round pick. I'm giving this pick by the Jaguars a very generous D. Amari Cooper produced immediately after being drafted number 4 overall by the Raiders. He put up 1,070 receiving yards to go along with 6 touchdowns and was named to the AFC's Pro Bowl team. Amari Cooper's polished skill set and elite route running skills is what has allowed him to become a consistently high-ranked receiver amongst the NFL community. He's not a guy that I view as a game-changing talent, but he doesn't have many weaknesses, besides occasionally struggling with his catching. He's an above-average wide receiver 1 in this league for sure. In his 3.5 years with Oakland, Cooper put up 3,183 receiving yards and 19 touchdowns before being traded to Dallas, where he has continued to enjoy above-average production at the wide receiver position. I'm going to give this pick for the Raiders a B, mainly due to the fact that they were able to get 3.5 good years out of Amari Cooper, along with trading him for a first-round pick at the end of his rookie contract. The Washington Commanders originally drafted Scherff to play right tackle, but it became apparent early on that he was better suited on the inside at right guard. Scherff has found a home there and has established himself as one of the best interior O-linemen in the entire NFL, having made the Pro Bowl 5 out of his 7 seasons in the NFL. Scherff is an A talent, but I'm going to give this pick a B, solely for the fact that a right guard at 5 isn't the greatest value. Leonard Williams was considered by many draft evaluators as the best overall talent in this draft, so the Jets were ecstatic to see him fall to number 6. While Leonard Williams wasn't necessarily a bust for the Jets, he didn't quite live up to those superstar expectations. He was a solid starter, but not worthy of that number 6 spot he was taken at. The Jets did, however, do a good job in trading him to the Giants for a 3rd and 5th round draft pick, which has actually turned out to be a win-win for both sides, with Leonard Williams producing significantly more with the G-Men. My final grade for this pick is a C-. When the Bears spent their number 7 overall pick on West Virginia star wide receiver Kevin White, they were hoping to add their future wide receiver 1 to the team for when Alshon Jeffrey would inevitably leave in free agency, but they would get nothing even remotely close to that with Kevin White. White struggled to stay on the field for Chicago, only appearing in 14 games in a 3-year span for the team. Even when he was on the field, he never really showed anything promising. He didn't catch a single touchdown for the Bears and was released by the team following the 2018 season. This one gets a big fat F. Vic Beasley was viewed as a draft steal when the Falcons were able to take him number 8 overall, but outside of one magical 2016 season where he had 15.5 sacks, Beasley has been nothing more than decent. I'll give this pick a C+. Do I really even need to explain this one? F. My first and only A grade of this top 10 goes to Todd Gurley. I'm not a big fan of drafting running backs in the first round, let alone the top 10, but Todd Gurley was an absolute superstar for the Rams to kick off their relocation back to Los Angeles. It's a shame how short his prime lasted because this dude was absolutely electric with the football. In his 5 years with the Rams, Gurley was a Rookie of the Year, a 3-time Pro Bowler, and a 2-time All-Pro. He put up 7,494 all-purpose yards and 70 touchdowns. In 5 years, don't forget, 5 years. His 2018 season was his best, putting up 1,831 total yards and 21 touchdowns, leading the Rams to a Super Bowl appearance. This was an A pick in my book. It's just a shame that Todd Gurley's prime didn't last longer because he was well on his way to a Hall of Fame career. Thanks for checking out my video, guys. Be sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any of my content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter over at JPA Football.